Well, good Monday morning to you. Welcome to our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. I'm your host, Jim Tabor, along with Doctors Jim and Janine Fox of Doctor's Nutrition, located on Cal and Lorraine Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. We do this every Monday morning, and it is live. We are live this morning. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. Hanukkah ends this evening at sundown, and then, of course, Kwanzaa started today. Saw that this morning with Jamie and Wesley. They had a special guest on the show talking about Kwanzaa. And but we are here live, and what we're going to be doing is talking about something that has to do with your health. And we want you to, of course, call in if you have any questions. 896-0713, 800-349-0713. Our phone lines are open to you, or anything, even if it's not regarding the topic of this morning. But our topic this morning, let's see, is how to get rid of those unwanted pounds that you gained yesterday. I think
Actually, it's not just yesterday. Over probably the past month.
That's true, with the Thanksgiving and all that. I weighed myself this morning, and I had gained actually only 3 pounds.
Actually, that's kind of the average, I'd say.
Really?
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
Yeah, but I'll get rid of it like that. I go to a couple of my Taekwondo classes, and it'll be gone. So.
Yep. Some people don't lose weight as easy, though. And so you really have to start. It's better to start being better anyway, because around the holidays, people use it as an excuse to be able to eat what they want. And they do eat what they want. And because of that, you definitely, and a lot of people don't lose those pounds.
I ate a lot of what I wanted yesterday.
And a lot of people don't lose the pounds. And then the next year they gain another 3 and then another 3. I mean, it's just a nonstop. And then that adds up over the years where you have a bunch of weight that you haven't lost. So you really do want to get those pounds off if you gained.
Yeah.
Yep.
We did. I know everybody who would. I mean, we had quite a spread over at my girlfriend's house, and she, her and her mother had cooked, and her daughter and several others of the family had cooked and brought over there. And we had like down there. Their bar was just like we just had a buffet.
Right.
It was just go down and serve yourself, and it was absolutely awesome. But then you pretty much eat yourself into a food coma.
I know.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I ate too much. But anyway, I mean, it's over. Now there's still New Year's coming up, and people are probably still going to do a little bit then. But then you got to start looking at getting it off and keeping it off. And if you are overweight, losing more weight for the year. And it isn't just about New Year's resolutions.
I was going to say that. There goes your New Year's resolution.
Well, people make resolutions and then they don't keep them. That's one of the problems with resolutions. So it just needs to be where, okay, people think, oh, I broke the resolution so I can just forget it. You don't want to do that. If you actually do something like this weekend, just go back to right where you left off and then start eating better again. And that's the biggest thing that we tell people with weight. We have people every day come in, what do you have for weight loss? And yes, there's some things that can help, but there is no magic pill. If there was a magic pill, people would be, everybody that could afford it,
Well, let's just put it this way, we've always said that
We've always said Oprah would be skinny all the time, and she's not. She goes up and down because when she's eating better and exercising and doing everything you're supposed to, you lose weight. So,
and a lot of people, when they eat and gain weight, it's not necessarily during the holidays. I mean, so this
it's not always. A lot
of people do stress eating.
Yes.
I mean, they have issues with stress or whatever, and they just start. It seems like they just can't quit.
Yep.
So it's their comfort.
No, the first thing is to start eating better. But then people ask, well, then what is eating better? Do you know what I mean? That's because it's easy to say eat better, but a lot of people don't understand what that is. The first step to eating better is stop packaged processed foods. If you just do that, you would probably see a difference. So things that are already made, things that are in boxes.
TV dinners.
Well,
any of that
TV dinners.
Actually, a lot of stuff. The bread that you see on the shelves, that's packaged. Think of the preservatives that are in it to make it stay that way.
Right.
So when you actually make, because I will make occasionally, if we eat bread, I make einkorn bread, which is your original wheat, and it actually has very little to no gluten. It's higher in protein,
and it's really good.
It is really good.
Right. You've tried it, right?
I've tried her,
and it's really easy.
Really
it's easy to make. But when I make that, 2 to 3 days, it's done. I mean, it's like fully mold. And so when you see these other things that can stay on the shelf after 2 to 3 months, what does it have to have in it to do that?
And what scares me
a lot of
is
stuff you don't want.
Because for a while there, it was just so simple for me being a very busy work schedule, that to just grab a TV dinner
Fly
for
is on your head. We have a fly in here. We can't get it.
So if you see me start swinging, you know what's going on. But until I started reading the sodium content, and with me with high blood pressure, I don't need all that sodium.
Well, that's one of the ways they preserve stuff. That's one of the preservatives that's in it. But there's many preservatives, and all that just really isn't great for you. So if you have something that lasts for months, they have to put stuff in it. So make your own. I always tell people, even if you're going to eat sweets, make your own. I mean, if you're going to do it, kind of all do different. Use different ingredients. Use coconut sugar or stevia or monk fruit instead of sugar. And so there's a lot of things you can start changing to where you use different ingredients, but make your own. Anything made your own usually is better anyway, but it's also better for you because it doesn't have all the preservatives.
Right.
Yep. So that's step one in changing your diet. And then another easy thing, eat less. Okay,
Yes.
if you say, I can't not eat that, well then eat less of what you eat. Okay, if you can't cut it out, eat less of it. Because
And I'm sure I know over the holiday, because I saw it happening yesterday, people filling up their plates, but only eating part of it, or they force themselves to try. Well, I filled up my plate, I got to eat it all.
Yeah.
And I learned that a long time ago. It's like I will eat until I'm satisfied.
Right.
And
Quit
I'll
when
know
you're
how
full.
much to put on my plate to eat to that point to where I'm not gorging myself.
The bad thing
and
about
you feel miserable afterwards.
is overeating does make you eat more later. I mean, it does stretch out your stomach. I mean, what they say, and there's no doubt, not eating as much definitely makes your stomach shrink, and then you get full easier, and you don't have to eat as much. But you might go through a week or two where you feel hungry. You might, especially if you've been eating huge amounts of food. When you cut back, you're going to feel hungry at first.
Well, but that's where we talk about adding good fats.
Yeah.
Because, we have a fat phobia, as far as food goes. You go into dairy and it's low fat or no fat, that kind of thing. If you're going to drink milk, drink full milk. If you're going to do dairy, do full fat dairy. Don't do the low fat stuff.
Really?
Oh, no, that's the worst thing you do. Because if you take out the fat, what are you left with?
Because I always
Carbohydrates.
thought, you would drink, instead of drinking, vitamin D milk, which is the full milk, that get the 2%.
Nope.
Or the 1%.
No, get the full milk.
It has higher carbohydrates when you actually have lower fat.
Right.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
All right. We're talking about getting rid of those holiday pounds that you gained over the past several weeks. You can pick up the phone, give us a call with any questions regarding that or anything regarding your health at 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. It's 8 minutes after 9 o'clock here on this Monday morning. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Well, coming up on 10 minutes after 9 o'clock on this Monday morning, we're talking about how to get rid of those holiday pounds that you gained over the last several weeks since Thanksgiving, because after you have Thanksgiving, then you have the leftovers. Yeah. And it kind of leads up towards, getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
And, so everybody just overindulged themselves yesterday.
So we've already talked about getting rid of packaged processed foods, definitely eating less food, also move more. And it doesn't have to be heavy exercise. You don't have to just, go full force, all out, because then you end up getting so sore you can't move and then you stop. So you just need to move.
I think the gym owners are probably going to hate this.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do as a New Year's resolution is join a gym. I mean, really, it's not. I'm not saying not to join a gym, but if you're going to do it, go into it gradually. Make it February or March before you do it. The first, get out and start walking.
Right.
Just start walking.
Just start moving.
Moving.
Yeah. Sitting less, moving more.
Yeah.
And that does make a difference. Yeah. So that's, like I said, you can join a gym.
Yeah.
But people I see, they go full force and then they hurt so bad. And we even see people come in and there's a lab, it's called a CK, which is creating, it actually is breakdown of muscle. And it is sky high. And it's because people went from nothing to all out, and they break down so much muscle that they can't get rid of the soreness, and they say, I ain't doing this no more. And that's what you don't want to do. You want to start low.
Yeah.
And so even if you do join a gym, walk on the treadmill a little bit. Just do light stuff first.
Simple stuff.
Move up to where it's something, you want it to be something that you can continue and something that is long term.
Right.
Short term things don't work. So it does take long term. Whether you change your diet or whether you exercise, it's long term. It's not really, there's not a quick fix.
Go to one of your local big box stores get a couple of those little dumbbells and
Yeah.
start doing some
Yeah.
stuff around the house. As Janine said, just slowly, gradually get into it to where
Right.
your muscles are getting used to that, and start working out with them around the house, doing some stretches. You can get a cheap little yoga mat. If you don't have carpet floors like I don't.
Yeah.
So I've got a yoga mat that I do stretches on and do different things, planks and sit-ups or whatever, but just do it gradually. Of course, I study martial. I have the last couple of years now studied martial arts, and I've lost with my diet and everything. I've lost over 23 pounds, which everybody says, man, you've lost weight, you look great. And I feel great. It's amazing how good
Yeah.
you feel
Right.
once you lose that weight. And
Right.
But as I said, you got to start slow. So get you some little dumbbells and just, a couple times a day, just sit there and, while you're watching TV, you can sit there and.
Yeah, one of our
work on those.
biggest complaints we've talked about in the past that people come in and say is, I'm tired, I'm fatigued, and all that. And I said, a lot of times it's because of the extra weight people carry. And I tell them, I say, if you made me carry 25 pounds all day long, if you just gave me a bag and it would weigh 25 pounds, and it says you have to carry this all the time, think of how tired you'd be at the end of the day. And that would be, if you have 25 extra pounds, that's what you're doing. You're carrying those 25 pounds all the time. And people don't think of it that way. And it's like, if you think about it, that's hard. It would be hard on anybody.
And especially if your body frame isn't built.
Isn't built for
Oh,
it.
exactly.
Even if your body frame is built for it, you don't want extra.
Right.
So that is another thing to do, is start moving. Now, we've had whole shows on the intermittent fasting. And the intermittent fasting, I think, is a good idea for most. I can't say it's for all, but for most. And that is eating all your food in 6 to 8 hours of the day. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can do intermittent fasting. There's some of the ways where you just fast one day a week and you don't, I like when you do it every day and you don't eat, you eat all your food in 6 to 8 hours, which really isn't that hard if you think about it. No. That's like from 10 to 6, that's 8 hours. So you eat your first meal at 10, you stop at 6. And you don't eat in between, any time in between there, water only. So, and that's not that hard to do. It sounds like it might be, but it's not. So that's another thing that you can actually do to get rid of some of those unwanted pounds and actually feel better. Thing is it's not about always looking better. That's a plus. It's more about health and feeling better. And that extra weight's not good for you.
And if you're wondering what are the great things that you should be eating for this, they have a great sheet at the store for the low glycemic diet. And people say, probably I have to eat water or paper or something. But no, it's a lot of great food on there. And it has on one side foods that they suggest, ranking from top to lower. And then on the back, foods you need to stay away from.
Right.
So it's really easy to follow. It's
It
not
is.
one of these that you have to, I don't want to start naming off some of the fad diets or whatever.
People always say, it means I have to eat salads every time. I said, no, you don't. That is not what, it's really about eating less. When you eat in portions of, everybody needs their protein. And I think a lot of people don't get their protein. You always want your protein, but you don't want 12 ounces a meal. You don't want that much. You need, you might do 4 or 5 ounces. You don't do a bunch at one time. And so that's kind of what we push, is eating less. And one of the things that's been proven to increase longevity, which is making you live longer, is a low caloric diet, not eating as much. That's been proven across the board. Everybody might argue on which diet's the best, but they can't argue with the research that says eating less of anything is good for the health.
Yeah, we watch a lot of people will say that, thousands of years ago, back in Jesus' day and so on, they ate bread, and that's, they had a lot of bread. They did. That's about all they ate.
But they ate the einkorn like I had.
They did. They had einkorn. They didn't have the modern
It's not
wheat.
the modern bread.
And, it was rare for them to get something like butter to go with it. That's all they did. That's all they had. Now, if you do that today, I'll guarantee you can lose weight with it. But you can't do that and everything else that you've been doing. In other words, if you look back at how they survived 2,000 years ago, it was a very minimal amount of food. Period. Didn't matter what it was.
They did move more. They did get more exercise. If they did eat other things, they had to go out and pick it or kill it or something. They had to do something to get it. So it makes a big difference. And so that people just need to start small if that's what it takes. You don't have to you don't have to go all out and then quit. That's what people do.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to get away from, is to where you don't, or saying, oh, I cheated, that's it, I'm done. Like, no, okay, you cheated, get back on, next day. It's got to be something that you can live with, and it's got to be something that you do long term, because there is no quick fix when it comes to weight loss.
No, yeah, and it's something that a good friend of ours who has just started something like this a few months ago, he's doing great. Lost, I think, 30-something pounds so far. Yeah, he's doing really well. And he messages me all the time, and he said, this is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It is.
You know, it's kind of what we talk about all the time. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So he's now understanding that, oh, this is my new lifestyle.
Right, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle
it's
change.
a lifestyle.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. Our phone lines are open to you. Talking about how to lose those holiday pounds. It's 17 minutes after 9 o'clock. We'll be back with our final segment and this week's special. And welcome back to our final segment this morning. Let's go ahead and look at our special for this week.
Yeah, it's the Thermogenic Weight Management. It is a product that we have. It's a company called Diem, and it is for, of course, burning fat, and it actually does help some with appetite. Now, when we talk about a fat burner, it is not your typical fat burner, because most fat burners tend to have a stimulant effect. This one does not. And before I would even carry it, I read everything about the 2 ingredients that's in it, making sure there was no stimulant effect, because I am not one that's really like stimulants. Because if you have too much stimulant, then you tend to have increased blood pressure. It can actually make your heart race and things like that, which I don't like. So this one is totally different. It has 2 ingredients that are patented ingredients, and the company says that they are the only ones that have these 2 together. One of them is a glucosaminoglycan, and it actually helps with the white adipose fat. And so it actually does help with the fat burning that way. The other ingredient is a type of capsaicin, but it's not your normal capsaicin. They say your normal capsaicin is maybe 8% pure. This one's like 98% pure. And the good thing is these ingredients have also been shown to actually help with joint pain. It's also been shown to help leaky gut and help with stomach problems.
Right.
So it's not just something that is for weight loss, and you take 2 in the morning. So it's kind of easy to take, because you take 2 of them first thing in the morning, and that's it. So you're not taking pills all day long. And I've had people do it, and they definitely say they can tell a difference with, you know, they definitely lose weight easier while doing it.
One, you know, and it helps you burn white fat, because there's a difference. We have different kind of fats. We have white fat and we have brown fat. Now, white fat is just that. It's just fat. It doesn't have any really, it's just a storage molecule, okay? So it doesn't do much for us. Brown fat, on the other hand, has a mitochondria, and it actually can produce a thermogenic effect. In other words, it can help us stay warm. And the best way to take care of that, or help convert the white fat into that, is to get rid of the white fat and then stay cool. Believe it or not, cold weather has been very, very big to show that how it can convert more of the brown fat. And brown fat has that thermogenic
That's why the
effect.
cryotherapy is good.
Cryotherapy is great.
It is good.
Yep.
And it, you know, so there are a few places around here that have the cryotherapy, and it's actually good too, because
Right.
actually being cold is beneficial for
Yeah.
fat burning.
I should be in good shape then.
All right, got a question. I've had double heart surgeries. I still walk every day with a walker. I wanted to know what other exercises that I can do.
I mean, you know, the things like, for instance, an exercise bike.
Yep.
Typically, I mean, that's, I've got
And
one.
actually, what I
great.
think is good are those bands. There's the bands, and you can actually, that gives you a little resistance, and you can do it sitting down. Because if you're walking with a walker, you don't want to fall.
Right.
I mean, that's the big thing. And you can even lift light hand weights while sitting down.
I was going to say
And you
light
can-
weights.
Yeah, light weights. And
Right.
like I said, with your legs, though, you can use those bands, and it just works as resistance. So to me, that's what kind of exercise. And like I said, an exercise bike is good too. I would not recommend going out on a bicycle, because you don't want to fall.
No.
So that you got to look at what you can do, and then do it. And even try and get in a video that does beginning yoga. Like beginning.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. Yoga is not easy.
Oh, I know.
People might think yoga's easy. It is not easy. But so you'd want to start really low, and it uses, you know, poses and positions on your own body weight, and you got to see which ones you can do for you. because you don't want to hurt yourself. That's
And
the
there's
big
plenty of, on YouTube or, on television.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of things.
But
that you can
with
find.
heart issues, you do want cardiovascular, and that would be more getting that heart rate up. So that is where a bicycle would be really good.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different exercise bikes. I mean, I finally had to find one that I could do because I got a bad back. Just really
It's a
hurts.
recumbent.
And it's kind of a recumbent thing, but it's
It
not
worked.
one. Yeah, it's really weird. But if you find something that fits you,
Right.
You have to find. You can't just because somebody says, "Oh, well, I've got a XYZ." You go try it out. Find something that fits you, and
Yeah,
keep
we
looking.
found one that didn't hurt his back.
Yes.
And that way he can do it.
And I said, "I'll take it."
Yeah. It's got to be something that you can do, and you got to be regular with it, and
Yeah.
probably at least 4 times a week. So that's that's where I would start.
Yeah.
4 times a week is what has been shown to be pretty much adequate.
Yeah.
It really has.
Now, we had mentioned the thermogenic weight management, and there are a few. Are there supplements to help weight? There's things that help. Is there magic? No. I don't care what anybody tells you. There's no magic pill. There are things like if it's hormonal weight gain, which we see tons of people have that. The DIM works real good,
Yeah.
or our Leanplex. That's actually more for hormonal weight gain. And again, you still have to have an effort, but it makes it easier to lose.
And that's in men and women.
In men and women, yes.
Both.
Hormonal.
Both, yeah.
And then, there's something called carb down. If you are going to go out to eat, you're going to need a whole lot more carbs than you should because, cutting carbs and sugar, we hadn't mentioned that, but we mentioned it almost every other week. That's one way, definitely a way to lose weight, is it kind of blocks part of the carbs that you eat. We don't recommend that day in, day out because you really just don't want to eat all those carbs. But if you're going to be eating something, that's something else that you can do. Chromium keeps you from being as hungry.
Fat keeps you from being hungry.
And we have some products, Carb Crave Complex,
Right.
Crave Arrest. They're all very similar. They actually work on the brain's chemicals to keep you from craving sugar. Now, on those, you can't take if you're already on an antidepressant because some of the chemicals that affects the serotonin, and you can't take that with medication. So that's what we're there for, to ask us, okay, which one for me? This is my problem. What do I do for me? And that's what we're there for, is to help you figure out what might work best for you.
And that's the great thing about it. Whenever you do go by and visit with them, I mean, the consultation's absolutely free. You don't need an appointment or anything like that. But if you walk in, you might have to, depending on how busy they are, wait a few minutes until they can.
And speaking about, we need to tell people our store times this week.
Okay.
We are closed today and tomorrow.
Okay.
So we are not there then, and it's actually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we are open this week. So
Okay.
that special is only for 3 days. We are also closed Saturday for New Year's Eve. So it's just, and then we're closed Monday also
after New
for the
Year's.
day after New Year's. Because of course our employees want their days off even if it falls on a weekend. So
How dare they?
exactly. We're doing the show today and working, but the store is closed. So I didn't want people to not know that. So just make sure
Yeah, we are here live this morning, and again,
Yeah.
For those of you that are at home,
Yep.
glad that you did join us this morning.
Right.
But next week, what are we talking about next week?
next week's open line. It's the
That's
first.
right.
It's the first Monday of the
First,
month.
yeah.
Wow.
Already.
Year flew by
A year,
fast.
exactly. So that's
2023.
So we're just going to talk about anything next week. So think about your questions and call, and we'll be happy to answer them for you.
That's right. That's right. So again, or if you have anything that you think of later in the week, you can email me to the initial J, Tabor, T-A-B-O-R, at WLOX.com. Also, there's a plethora of information on Doctors Nutrition's Facebook page, also on their website. So if you have any other questions regarding that, or just save them, and we'll be back here live at 9 o'clock next Monday morning on WLOX CBS. Hope you have a wonderful day, and try to stay warm until this cold spell gets out of here. Anyway, we'll see you next Monday here on WLOX with the Doctor's Nutrition Show.
For more information on highlighting your business and services on Healthy Living South Mississippi, contact Jim Tabor at 896-1313.